Hello, everyone. Welcome into another bonus episode of the Four Quarters podcast powered by Four Quarters Media. I'm your host, Tyler Bennett, here with you once again. This is an episode that I've been looking forward to. It's a return guest from season one of our more popular guests as well, one that had a ton of laughs from start to finish. He was a free agent at the time. Now he is currently with the Langara Falcons out in the Pac West. Arthur Ace Reece rejoins the show. Last time he was a free agent coming off a season with the St. Thomas Tommies. Did not play in 2019-2020 due to various reasons. Transferred and ended up with Coach Paul Eberhardt and the Langara Falcons out on the West Coast. This chat was fun, to say the least. We went in without a script, without any ideas, and just saw where we ended up. We talked about his road trip, which he drove himself from Fredericton, New Brunswick to Vancouver BC. That's a lot of driving for those of you who don't know how far that is. It's about 56, 57 hours, 5,500 kilometers. He saw a lot of Canada and what it has to offer. It's a drive I think a lot of people should do at some point, myself included. I want to do the drive. I don't know if I have the patience to do the drive, but it's fun. It'd be fun. Looked at that, looked at kind of what he's been up to since he got out to Vancouver, the biggest differences between the East Coast living and the West Coast living, as well as what he expects the differences to be on the court from the ACAA at St. Thomas to the West Coast and the Pac West with the Falcons, kind of how those compare. Got a bit of what he's been up to, working out with some of his teammates coming up, and what they're looking ahead to if there is some sort of Pac West season. This was recorded Monday afternoon, June 8th, coming out June 9th. At that time, the OUA, AUS, Canada West, and OCAA had announced their suspension of fall sports in the fall semester, delaying everything till at least January 2021. Even then, that's up in the air, and decisions for that should trickle down October 8th, I think the deadline is, at least for the Canada West and U Sports. So that'll be an interesting few months to watch and see how it all plays out. I'm not really sure how it's going to shake down. The Pac West is still working with health officials. They released a statement on Friday, I believe it was, June 5th, saying that they're working towards different things and they're still weighing all their options to see what the best course of action is for the upcoming season. With that being said, hopefully there is a full season for at least one league. I don't know how that's going to shake down. Again, with some already making their decision, some still waiting it out. But we touch on that a fair bit. And we also touch on the Black Lives Matter and what that means for Arthur, what he's experienced in a rally and a protest in Vancouver. Just had an off-the-cuff discussion, which I think a lot of people need to have right now. The whole chat, start to finish, was insightful, eye-opening at parts as well, just a ton of fun. This is the first time him and I have done it face-to-face before. The last one we did was over the phone. We shoot the breeze back and forth, off and on, Instagram, social media, iMessage, what have you. But putting the face to it just made the last that much better. And Ace found a good barbecue spot in Vancouver. If you listen to episode 1, you'll get the joke. So with that in mind, we're going to jump right in. Bonus episode of the Four Quarters podcast powered by Four Quarters Media with now new Langara Falcons fifth-year point guard, Arthur Ace Reece. Enjoy. All right, so I'm now thrilled to be joined once again by Arthur Reece, who is no longer a free agent. Last time he came on, he was a free agent in college basketball world, and now he's with the Langara Falcons. Mr. Reece, how are you, sir?
Good, man. How you doing today, man? It's good to be back on the show. Good to come on again and have another, hopefully hilarious talk,
see where we end up because a lot's changed since last time. Last time you were out east, we did it over the phone, so we've never done it face to face. So this is new as well. This is different. This is good.
Yeah.
Brought out the closest I had to Langara orange for the occasion.
I
It's
see. I love it. Love it.
have to be festive, and this is 100% planned to fit in. I should have taped the logo like right there just to blend in even more.
The Langara logo. Put
Mm-hmm.
an L.
Mm-hmm. Gotta please Paul somehow. Got to get in his good books too. Get him on here sometime.
Exactly right. That would be dope, right? Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Good person to talk.
Last time we did this, you were out east. And now you're in Vancouver, and you drove the entire way.
Yeah,
it's like 55, 56 hours, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere around there, like 57 hours, I think.
And you did it by yourself?
Yeah, I did the whole thing by myself, man. Honestly, I can't even tell you how I did it, but like I had to mentally prepare myself, right? You know,
I'd say.
Yeah, so like I was supposed to leave like maybe on a Monday morning, but I was putting it off because like I was still kind of nervous, right? And like I just wasn't mentally prepared yet. So like I slept through the night on Monday, woke up on Tuesday morning like around 6 a.m. And got everything ready, and I wanted to be on the road by 8:30, leaving New Brunswick. So I got on the road at 8:15 a.m. on Tuesday morning.
That's a long drive by yourself. Like, what did you do? Did you just listen to music? Like, how do you stay like awake for one? Obviously, you stopped. You didn't drive 57 hours straight. But how do you like stay sane? Like, I would go insane with my own thoughts for that long.
Really though, so I mean, like I was listening to music, like you just asked. Like I listened to a lot of different rap, R&B, jazz. I listened to a lot of different podcasts along the way, you know, and it just caught my attention. But like for me, you know, I don't mind taking these kind of drives like this. You know, like I love like traveling by myself, like just getting in the truck and just packing up and just rolling. You know, just like I was like out on the open highway by myself. You know what I mean? Anything could have happened, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, that's what I was nervous about the most. And, like, I talked to my brother, like, the morning before I left, and he said, like, the same thing. Like, you're on the road by yourself. Anything could happen. That's what make you a man. That's the fun thing about life, you know?
That's true.
And, so that, you know, that leveled me out a little bit. Like, I was more calm and everything. And, I mean, I just found I stopped in like different places along the way, like different hotels and stuff. And that were all pretty good. I had no problems, you know what I mean? It was a beautiful drive. Like I seen so many things, you know, like when I drove into Banff, Alberta, you know, when you just driving in there, you see the mountains, like you're literally just looking down. It's just like you looking all the way up, right?
Yep.
So that was definitely dope. Like I took some pictures along the way and like sent it to my mom and everything.
Yeah. That drive into Banff is something else. Like you see the mountains coming in, like you pass Calgary and you see the mountains, and then you go around like two curves, and all of a sudden you're right in them, and like they're massive, and you feel so small compared to them. Like it's insane.
It was, man. Like when I was in Northern Ontario, but I made it to Northern Ontario like around like 10 at night, right?
Okay.
I didn't know I was going to be in the mountains there either, though. So, like, I get up in the mountains like 10 p.m., moose signs on the side of the highway. I had already seen like 4 moose along the drive anyway.
Yep.
And, like, there was a car in front of me with a U-Haul trailer just swerving all across the road, you know what I mean? So I'm thinking, like, shit, here we go. This is it, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, dang, man. So I was like, I'm never driving in the mountains at night again. It was all curvy. It was tricky. Like it was my first time on the road, you know. But luckily, I made it through, you know. So I mean, I would definitely make the drive again, but like I would just like schedule it to make it all throughout the days. Like every day is like a day trip, you know.
And take someone else with you.
Yeah, I might take. You know, who knows? Sometimes people start talking too much along the trip.
You can't mute people like you can music. You can't just shut them up and make them stop. The first time, like my wife's family is up north in Dryden, Ontario, and the first time we drove up there, I'm city kid through and through. Never seen a moose outside of a zoo.
Yeah.
We took turns driving. It's like 24 hours from where we are. we made a curve, and there was a moose on the side of the road, and I was driving, and the city kid in me just panicked, and I just yelled, "Animal!" That's it. That's all I could get out. And ever since then, that was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Anytime we see a moose, a deer, anything on the side of the road, it's always animal. That's it.
Animal.
That's all there is.
Yeah.
When you're city kid, like I've never seen that before. And like you said, driving it at night, there's no lights on those roads. Like, it's dark. No street lights and no whatever. You're on your high beams, and that's it.
And like even my high beams were on, man. Even then, it was still dark as hell. I was like, yo, I was like looking for spots to like pull over and stuff because it was like getting too dark, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I can't remember where I made it. It's like the end of Northern Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the name of it. But like when I was about to pull over, I pulled up on this place, and like there was like a nice looking motel like off the side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
So I found it because I was tired too. So I found it like at the perfect time, really, you know.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like you up there, like you drive, you think, okay, yeah, there's a city like an hour away. They're far apart. Like like it gets 9 o'clock and it gets dark. You're like, I can go a little further.
Yeah, really.
No, there's nothing out there. It gets so bare. It's intimidating.
Really, yo, I swear to God, it was so intimidating, man. Like, it was an experience, though. I mean, it's probably it's a few people, but not too many people in the world that can say they probably drove across like Canada by themselves, you know. And like then being an American, like I mean, I look at it completely. It was completely exciting for me to do, you know. So
there's so much to see too. Like I think a lot of people in Canada, like you said, will never drive coast to coast. Like you went from Fredericton to Vancouver, which is essentially coast to coast.
Yeah.
And there's so much to see. And because you went after COVID hit, so I'm assuming you went the entire way in Canada. You didn't go in the States. So you see everything that the country has to offer on the Trans Canada. There's so much out there to see that most people in Canada will never see outside of pictures online.
Exactly. So and that's what I was thinking about. Like before I left, while I was driving, I was like, man, like not a lot of people get to see this kind of stuff. You know? I guess like the opportunity, you know, like I had to chase it. And, I had to get it in my head like this is what I wanted, right? So you really want to get something done, and you really want to do something, then like you're gonna go after it. And like my only way to get after what I'm doing out here was to drive out here. You know, I had so much stuff, and I wasn't about to put it on the plane or anything like that. You know,
that's too expensive. No,
exactly, right?
Not a chance.
Exactly. That's more than, oh my God, yeah, absolutely. And like the gas was pretty cheap, so like the first week the gas prices dropped. I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on this because if they drop the next week, then I'm gonna start making some more moves and start looking at more places and everything like that, like closely. So when gas prices drop the next week, I started looking at more places in Vancouver, like more closely and everything. And eventually, like I found a place, and then that's when I had to start making the plans about moving, right? So like it all happened so fast, and it happened unexpectedly because like I was going to expect to be out here like in July, August maybe.
Yep.
But at the same time, like when the pandemic hit, I was already prepared because I had already been working on things prior to that, you know. So when the time came for me to just get up and go, I was ready to just get up and go. And you know, it's fun because like I talked to a few people like in New Brunswick often before I left. So like I probably mentioned like one of my trainers, Lonnie. I talked to him a lot, gave me some advice before coming out here. And one of my other guys like Orlando, I worked out with him often too. And we used to play one-on-ones like after every workout often, you know. And like both of the guys told me like this is like a business trip for you, you know. So like you get out here, you're doing like a master's, right? You got to take care of your business in the classroom. You out here, it's your last year playing basketball also. You got to take care of business on the court. So this is basically a business trip for you. So you got to, you know, you can do whatever you do. You know, you can meet new people. You can have whatever kind of fun or whatever. But at the end of the day, you have to remember that you out here for a reason. You know, you're out here to get a master's, and you are out here to try to win a championship.
Mhm.
you know, make some noise, you know, and build up the basketball brand in Vancouver a little bit.
Hmm. On your drive out, did you get any good barbecue?
Ah, let me
Because
see.
as we said last time, if you haven't heard the first one, listen back. Fredericton didn't have a thing. No
No,
barbecue at all. That was good,
and
anyways. No.
yeah, you know what's funny? Because I left in Fredericton, they opened up a barbecue spot.
Of course it did. As soon as you
You
leave.
know what I mean? So I get a picture. I get a picture from '02. You know,
Hmm.
he's showing his barbecue spot downtown. I'm like, what? For real? Come on, man. You know, but I did get some barbecue on the way up here. I can't remember the name of it at all, and I can't even really remember where I was at. But I think I was in Manitoba. Yeah, I was. I had made it. I had made it into Manitoba or whatnot.
Of all
So
places to get barbecue, Manitoba.
yeah, right. But I have one of my older
Wow.
teammates. One of my older teammates lives in Winnipeg, right?
Okay.
So yeah, so like I
Okay.
told him, like, man, I'll pull up along the way. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And so every time when it's Justin Grant. You know, and every time when me and him get together, like
Hmm.
we just sit down, we just talk, we just chill like a brother. You know, just
Yeah.
like a brother vibe. So we went to this burrito spot. You know, so it's not actually barbecue, but like they have some barbecue stuff or
Close
whatnot.
enough.
Yeah, close enough. You know what I mean? Because I ain't wanna get too full and too tired on the road.
Hmm.
So like got some barbecue stuff at the burrito joint, and we just sat down and talked, and it was pretty damn good, to be honest. But yeah, that was the closest barbecue I got along the way. But
Hmm.
I did get some barbecue in Vancouver already at this place called the Earls, I believe.
Okay.
I think it's called Earl's Barbecue. They
Hmm.
have some they have some super good brisket, some good
Mm.
sausage links, you know, chopped up,
Yeah.
just the way it is like at home, you know. So I
Hmm.
was like, yeah, it got some nice barbecue sauce, put some spices in it.
Hmm. Leave it to Fredericton to get a barbecue spot. You spend 2 years there, no barbecue. As soon as you leave, let's open up a joint. Why not?
Man, right? Come on, I wanted to try it too. Like I wanted to try some really good barbecue down there in Ferguson because I heard this new spot is pretty good too, right?
Of course it
So
is. Hmm.
also,
They must have listened to the first one and said this is a good idea. Let's open a new
yeah,
spot, and
can you
then
imagine?
as
Oh
soon as you leave, like, this is a good time to open up. And then, of course, of all guys to send you a picture of it, it's Mike.
yeah, really though, really though. So I mean, that's pretty unique, and it's pretty good that they have something down there like that now. You know, because everybody loves barbecue. You know?
They have to tie it back to you. I think that idea came from you, so I think they should either send you some royalties, or anytime you're out there, table's yours, food's on the
Yeah,
house, something. And if they ever
love it.
question it, just play them that segment of the first episode you were on and say this is where it came from. This is
Girl,
why
I
this
love
place
it.
is here.
They're gonna look at me. They might laugh a little bit because it's kind of funny. They'll be like, "Yeah, come on, sit down, come get you some food." Could you imagine though, man?
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, right.
But
Well,
Vancouver, they've got so many more options. It's so much bigger, and you've already found one. This is what you wanted. Taste of home, and
yeah,
took you
absolutely.
57 hours to drive there, but
But I
you finally found it
finally found my true love in the food world.
in Vancouver. It probably would have been almost quicker, maybe, to drive back to Texas than it would be to
Yeah,
Vancouver to find good barbecue.
yeah, it would have because driving from Houston, that's another driving here from the States to Canada in the first place.
Hmm.
That was probably like 31 hour, 32-hour drive.
Could have saved yourself 26 hours and had
Exactly,
a home
right?
barbecue, but then the border's closed and you can't get across. And
Yeah, so I didn't want to risk any of that either, right? I was like, because I was thinking about actually, I was on the highway and I
hmm
seen like some border crosses like going like into the states, and I was like, man, look, I might have to, but I kept driving straight. You know, I stayed on the interstate, stayed on the path because I do want some home cooked meals
hmm
sometime, but
but
maybe when the
chances
border,
chances are you'd get across and then you wouldn't be able to get back in.
exactly right, because like I'll try to come back in and then they'll be like, don't know, like you've been in the states pretty bad in the states still with a
Hmm.
lot. You know what I mean? So it's
It's
crazy, right?
that's all it is. That's all you can say is it's crazy right now.
Yeah.
The one question we put online before we get into kind of Langara for you, Mike
Mm,
sent one in, and he's curious to know how you think the Pac West will compare to the ACAA.
okay. Well, just from like, I mean, I haven't really seen like any Pac West games like in person, right?
Hmm.
But I was watching like a lot of the Pac West games online, so like I became pretty familiar with the teams and everything.
Hmm.
And I mean, I watched the ACAA last year in the basketball world, like across Canada in the CCAA. I felt like it was probably like equal, like equality, like with the talent wise all across the board, right?
Hmm.
But in the Pac West, they play faster, you know,
Hmm.
because I believe me and you talked about this before when we were talking about like the JUCO field comparison, and we were
Hmm.
like OCAA and the Pac West were like the top two that's like pretty closest to the JUCO level in the states,
Yep.
and so like yeah, comparison wise, like in the Pac West they play faster than they do in the ACAA.
Hmm.
Um, to say who could like if who could win some games maybe out of between any teams in the ACAA and teams in the Pac West, just from watching, like being playing in the ACAA and then watching the Pac West, I would say like most of the teams in the Pac West will probably beat some teams in like all of the teams in the ACAA.
Hmm.
But it depends, like because you talking, it was a down year last year for a lot of teams. So last year I would
Yep.
say that. But who I don't know what's the case to be this coming season, right? Because I
That's
hear
true.
Holland getting a couple of players and whatnot.
Hmm.
And who knows what the ACAA could look like? It could be like top level this year.
Hmm.
Pac West could be top level this year. But I'm going with the Pac West for now. But you know, it would be nice to get some games between some teams like the
Hmm.
Pac West and the ACA to try to figure that out to see like who could win like maybe like some round robin games or something like that. You know.
It'd be interesting to have. I don't know how feasible it is with the travel, but
Mm.
preseason tournaments with like you see in the States, like your MTEs and whatever else in the early season tournaments with different leagues. So if you'd send, 8 teams total, it's kind of like a mini nationals. You have 8 teams, one from each league, and maybe
You
two
could.
from the bigger ones. The OCAA has two, AC has two, Quebec has two, whatever. And just have fun with it. See what happens. Then you can kind of stack up teams against one another. But
Yeah.
I think now with COVID and like the OCAA shut down for the fall, OUA, Canada West, AUS are all shut down. Who knows the Pac West is going to do?
Yeah.
They said
True.
that they're still looking at all the options, still waiting to hear because
Mm.
BC is a lot lower in cases than anywhere else. Out east hasn't said anything. Quebec, I think, is going to go. I think they're going to go full bore, just no
Oh.
nationals for football or
Oh.
anything. So,
Wowza.
I mean, at least for the fall, there's no fall
Yeah. That's
nationals. Winter's still out in the air, I guess, but I don't know. I have no idea. And I think it's a little bit early to make a decision. I get both sides of it. You need to make a call. I don't know. I think they could have made it work, but that's just me.
yeah, man. I mean, it's tough. You know,
Mhm.
I think a lot of people probably are reacting like out of fear, right? You know,
Yep.
this is a scary thing that's happening. Like, actually, I mean, there's a lot of scary things happening right now. You know, so
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
COVID with the COVID thing and everything. This is something probably that like everybody is like handling like very cautiously, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I
Yep.
would think like if you're not gonna have, what if they like just reset everything? You know, what
Mm-hmm.
if that was the case? What if they just start football like maybe in the fall, like in the spring or something. But it's so cold, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you probably can't do that. But like you could probably start a lot of sports like in January, and
Yep.
or you could wait till the summer to start up a lot of things. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like a lot of reset buttons on a lot of stuff.
Yep.
So
Like a lot of it, and I know a lot of it ties into budgets and
mm,
summer camps are being canceled, so you're not getting that money in the summer. Like Canada West, the start of May, put out their divisional realignment, so you played by province to minimize your travel, minimize your costs, which made sense. So BC's one, Alberta's one, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, they're one.
yeah,
That makes sense. And then to go 3.5 weeks later and just say fall sports are canceled. I mean,
yeah,
that's a
that's tough.
quick it's a quick turnaround. And I get it. Health and safety's first. There's a lot more into it, academics, budgets, whatever. But that's a hard 180 turnaround.
Yeah, like that in that quick time frame too, right? You
Hmm.
know, so
And like I said, like BC's a lot lower in cases. Manitoba and Saskatchewan are lower. Alberta's on the decline. I don't I don't know. I don't really
I
know.
see. I was watching a Ball is Life video. You probably seen it too. Like it was Trey Young was playing in the league
Mhm.
in like a summer league game in Oklahoma, and like the
Mhm.
gym was like packed, like
Mhm.
shoulder to shoulder. Like it's like no, what is called? Do they have a vaccine in Oklahoma or something that we don't know about?
That- I don't know. Like you see all of
So,
these like videos in like the Ozarks in Missouri, and like people in the water, and just complete
yeah,
disregard, like no masks or anything, and like it's almost like it's just disappeared. Like I
yeah,
don't know. You
exactly.
don't hear as much about it anymore. I know it's still there. It's still very much prevalent, and like in Ontario, we just moved into phase 2, but some cities are still excluded. So it's still there. But I think everybody's just getting restless at this point. They just want to get back to
It's
some sort of
yeah.
normalcy, and the NBA is coming back at the end of July.
Mm,
I mean, if they can make it work,
why can't
why
we?
can't we find some sort of? And I mean, they're having a hub city. We can't have hub cities for colleges because
Mhm.
of academics, but there's got to be some way. But that's just me being selfish, I think.
But I look at it the same way though. Like I definitely feel like there's a way,
Mm-hmm.
because I was paying attention to the NBA too. Like they have like a 22 team format,
Mm-hmm.
and they were saying that like they would be done with Game 7 of the finals by October 12th.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, so they about to get ready to go into it full
Yep.
swing. So like you said, like if they can, why can't we, right?
Yep.
I mean,
And
I don't. I mean, you can have people not come to the games. I mean, if that's what you have to do, then
mm-hmm.
so be it, right? But
like
I don't know.
everything's online these days. You can watch it online. You can stream everything. But that's the thing with the NBA. I don't get because you're doing it in Orlando,
Hmm.
and then they're going to open up Disney anyways.
Yeah,
Like if they're opening up Disney, that place is always packed.
I'm
I
telling
don't
you,
I don't
right?
care how many social distancing measures you're going to have.
Hmm.
That place is going to be insane. After
Exactly,
having
and I
been closed for 3 months, and you pack that
yeah,
into Orlando with basketball, good luck.
it's definitely going to be packed. And then I think another reason Disney might be doing this because they're trying to get some of their money back. Because
Mm-hmm.
I think Disney owns ESPN, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so ESPN is definitely going to be streaming the tournament, right?
Someone said
So
that they're putting the games on Disney Plus.
what?
I read that online. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'd probably not true. I probably just bought
Oh,
into
yeah.
bullshit
Man, I
internet.
mean, okay, I wouldn't be surprised if they did do that either, though.
Make more money back. You got to pay to get Disney Plus.
Exactly. Like that's a couple of ways for them to make money. ESPN streaming it, Disney Plus. Come on,
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot of revenue coming in because
Yeah,
everybody's going to be watching. Like
100%, 100%. If that's the
absolutely,
first thing back, everybody's gonna watch it, even if they don't like it.
yeah, everybody will be watching it. So like, I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
just
I
want
missed basketball for the longest.
mm-hmm.
Like sports in general though.
just
So
anything sport. I want back.
exactly. Like
Like all we
I've watched. Huh?
go ahead.
I've watched like so many different games like on the NBA League Pass because they have that up for free right now.
Yep.
I've been watching like so many of those games, man, just because like it's nothing else on TV. I'm
Mm-mm.
finding like old games on YouTube, like watching Michael Jordan games, like when he
Yep.
hit the shot and everything, like the different basketball documentaries that are out. But then like the different documentaries that's just out in general. Like I'm just watching so much stuff right now.
That's the thing. Like you're trying everything just to like I've said it before. I've watched German soccer with no fans. I don't watch soccer, let
Yeah,
alone German soccer of teams I can't pronounce or players I have no clue who they
yeah,
are,
yeah.
just to have some sort of live sport.
Yeah,
It's
like some type of excitement, like
I wouldn't say German soccer is exciting, but just anything. Just
yeah, something is better than nothing at this point.
like it's almost it's like watching like it's like 85 minutes of absolutely nothing and 5 minutes of shot attempts that miss the biggest net you can have by 30 feet
Yeah.
and you step on a guy's toe and it's like he got shot in the leg. It's
Oh no,
it's
I don't
terrible.
even. Yeah, that sounds pretty. Yeah, that sounds pretty horrible.
It's rough. It's soccer. I mean, no offense to soccer people out there.
Yeah.
It's not for me. It no. Can't
Yeah,
do
to
it.
see like the only time I really like to really watch soccer is like during FIFA,
Mm-hmm.
like during the FIFA World
Cup and everything. Because
Yep.
that stuff be pretty fun to watch, you know. To watch
Mhm.
the Olympians like everybody, the best of the best, play against each other. Well, now
Mhm.
see, that's different. I like watching that type of soccer.
Yeah.
I like watching baseball, but normally I watch the baseball like around the World Series,
Okay.
you know, because
Mhm.
that's when everything, you know, it's getting pretty packed in the stands, and like
Mhm.
it's more, everybody's more paying attention, like it's
Mhm.
more like emotions into the game and whatnot. It's more fun to watch,
Mhm.
like during the World Series, you know. So,
Being from Houston, do you have a favorite team for baseball?
not the Astros,
Good. Good choice. Good choice.
not the Astros, because they have, man, that's crazy. Did you
Start
hear about
bang.
what they?
Start
Yeah,
banging on trash cans.
yeah,
Terrible.
man,
Yeah,
that's
but
ridiculous.
they keep their titles. So
Yeah, right. It's crazy. I don't even. How did that even come about? I don't know. You know, like it just popped out of nowhere. But
like,
I heard LeBron's supposed to be doing directing a documentary about it.
is he?
Yeah, being like the
Okay.
producer and that.
That'll be
So
good to watch.
yeah, it really
That'll be
will.
interesting to watch. Actually,
I'm not sure when it'll like be out, when it'll come out, but
still.
I read an article on it probably a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy out
Okay.
there.
Looking at Langara, now that you're in Vancouver, you're settled. You've been working out with some of the guys at Chris Schneller, whatnot, getting ready for the season. What are you looking forward to the most with the Falcons?
I'm just looking forward to playing. Really, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm just excited whenever that may be. That's it. I'm just excited about just being able to play around some guys who want to win, like who are actually like talking about it even before everything gets started. Because I've been talking to like different teammates and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
talking to different coaches. And, I mean, it's just like everybody's just like good people, like a family vibe, and you know, I feel so comfortable already around them, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just excited. I'm just excited and looking forward to being able to play with them, for them with all
Mm-hmm.
of this excitement built up, you know,
Yep.
because like I missed an entire season like last season, right, because of like different things that was going on and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was talking about probably on the other podcast we did, like it makes you more hungry when you
Mm-hmm.
like have to sit out for like such a long period of time for
Yep.
something that you love to do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's okay. Like I've had like the little bitty injuries, like 2-3 weeks, a month maybe, but like a whole year not playing basketball. I mean, I was still working out, you know, getting in the
Mm-hmm.
gym and playing everything and working out with Orlando and Lunny, but to not be able to like play in like the actual games and
Mm-hmm.
like the actual fans before COVID hit, you know. So I'm looking forward to that. Like I'm super excited. Like I don't know, man. It's just I feel like when I made it here, this was the starting point to like an even like better lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So and I'm just excited for a whole lot of stuff to happen. You know,
Yep.
like basketball, school, like
Mm-hmm.
different type of work that I'll be doing and everything like that.
Yep.
Like you know, it's just I'm just happy out here. You know, and
It's
I have no bad vibes about everything and with that all of that excitement built up and all of that positivity in the air, like I have nothing to be more ready for than to just start playing, you know, because
yep.
like I feel like it'll be like super, super fun, you know, when you just playing the game at like the happiest, you know.
Yep. And like you said, there's a ton of motivation behind it now. Sitting out a whole year, like that's a whole different challenge than just like you said, a 2 week
Mm-hmm.
ankle sprain or strain or whatever it is, and then you go a full year and not playing. Like you're in the gym, like early mornings, getting shots up, working out, whatever, and then the East Coast is completely different from the West Coast. Like you said, it's a whole different vibe. It's a whole different energy. New group of guys, not to slight the old group of guys, great group of guys there too, but just a fresh start, something different, adds motivation to it. Playing with guys like Moathia, Luka Lizdek, Chris as well, just off the top.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be an interesting team. And Coach Paul Eberhardt's one of the top coaches in Pac West. And it's a fresh start, and there's just a ton of motivation behind it.
Yeah, exactly, right. And the fresh start, I feel like that's what I needed, really, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And like when I was in New Brunswick, like the dudes that were playing, like when I was playing with them, like we still cool, you know. Like I still
Mm-hmm.
keep in contact with most of them,
Yep.
a lot of them. And then like the team before, like the 2017, 2018, 2019 team with like Justin, Michael, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and Scott McLeod and everything. Like that team was like very, very close. We were like we missed the playoffs by a game that year, but like we were a very close team. Like we always hung out together off the court and everything. So that year right there, coming out here, that's what it feels like. You know, like I'm already getting close to a lot of the guys. Like we hanging out and stuff, and like we're playing ball at the parks or whatnot, just building up that chemistry. And I'm talking to Coach Paul Eaglehart like every other day. I'm talking to Coach Joey like every other day. I'm talking to Coach Timmy like every other day. So the fresh start, you know, it's making like a very good positive impact like already, you know.
Yep.
With everything else that's happening in the world, you know, there's like some good things happening around me right now. So like, you know, I can't do nothing but just, you know, be blessed and like happy for that, you know. So
It's going to be interesting to see what type of season we have too. Like hopefully, like we said before, hopefully you guys do get a full season out west. But like you said before we came on, like everything's opening up now for you guys too. Like you guys can get out and shoot in parks and kind of, you know, play 1-on-1, 2-on-2, what have you, and just like you said, build that cohesion, build that chemistry. And whenever the season comes in to play, hopefully for you guys it's October or November, but then you guys will be more ready than you would be if you shut it down, right? You have that chemistry already. Like you said, you're talking to the guys, coaches, players, whoever.
Absolutely.
It's what you want.
Absolutely. And like that, like I said, like they're very, very good people, like very respectful people, you know what I mean? I haven't had any bad vibes about them at all since I'm out here. Even before I came out here, you know, I said it before that like me and Coach Eaglehart, we were always talking like on the daily, you know what I mean? We were building up a good relationship. And, you know, I'm looking forward to it, you know. Like you said, a season, if we have a season, it should be an exciting one because everybody right now, I mean, everybody is seeing how much life is important to them now, you know, with everything around them, you know. The smallest things that we took for granted, I don't think it's going to be like that no more. So even basketball being played at a higher level before COVID, you could probably expect it to be played even at an even higher level now. You know what I mean? Because maybe some people took the game for granted still, and now they're going to be like, yo, this can really be taken away from me like at any moment in time, like anything around me, right?
Yeah.
So
That's the one thing I think this has taught everybody is everything that we took for granted before, whether it's basketball, family time, you know, that simple social interaction can get taken away in an instant. Like you said, with like COVID was there, and then when Rudy Gobert got it, that's when everything just hit the fan. And within like 48 hours, professional sport was done. Everything shut down. Like it can happen that quick. I think there's going to be a lot of guys and a lot of girls that come back to basketball whenever it comes back with that much more of an edge, that much more hunger, because who knows when it's going to leave? Who knows when it's going to get taken away when you have no idea? They just want to prove themselves as best they can.
For sure, man. And I hope that's what it's like, actually. I hope it's played at the highest level when everything is able to come back, because that's when it's so much more fun at a higher level. You know what I mean? Every team going at it. Hopefully no blowouts, even though that may be the case in a couple of cases, you know what I mean? But like close games, going at it, you know what I mean? Just aggression, like hard work. Like that's what I'm looking forward to, right?
For fans like me, like it's going to be fantastic to watch everybody play the highest level. And from a player perspective, I'm sure like it's going to make you bring out the best in yourself, because they're going to have 16 other guys on the other side doing the exact same thing. And heaven forbid you have an off night, and you're going to might have one of those blowouts. So you're not going to be able to afford to have a night off, because if you do, they're going to expose you. Like everybody's going to have that much more motivation. Everybody's been working out at home, probably in better shape than they were when they're working in the gym, because they want to be ready for the season. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a ton of fun whenever it comes back.
It really is. It's gonna, man. I'm just excited. You know, it's gonna bring back that old school feel. You know what I mean? That old school, aggressive, physical. You know, but it's gonna be organized. Like a lot of people gonna be really like just aggressive. You know, just taking the game so much more serious. Like as we should though. if you an athlete playing in the sport, you should take it as serious as you possibly can, right?
Mm-hmm. You
want to be
see,
the best.
you see too many times people just kind of, like you said, take it for granted. They're just, they don't. Some days they just don't care. That's not going to happen anymore. You're going to have every game, 40 minutes. Every guy on or girl on that team is going to care.
Yeah.
And if they don't, there's going to be other people waiting to take their spot who have that hunger. It's going to make high school more competitive, college more competitive. Hopefully we see more top Canadian talent stay home and make this product even better. That's one thing I worry about is with leagues canceling half the season already, are people not going to pay attention in January when it comes back? I don't know. I think there's a lot of questions still. I hope they pay attention because that product is going to be 10 times better than it was before. But we just have to get there. We just have to get to a season.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
Like, I mean, and in time, I think everything will fall into place, right? Like, everybody, like this right here is just like a tough time for everybody that we have to go through, And once we get to the end of the tunnel and see the light, then I think everything will, get back slowly to like a full norm. But, it'll be nice, man. It's interesting with how we going to interact with the world right now, because the world has changed,
In 3 months, the world has flipped upside down.
Yeah, like 2020 was like, yo, like we done with y'all. Like
that's the truth. That is the truth. Like Kobe passed in January, and ever since then, every month has had something new. It gets I don't even know what to say. I have no words for 2020.
I was talking to like one of my friends like the other day, and I was like, man, like I don't think people understand like this is just like different, you know what I mean? Like not the same no more. Like everybody there's gonna be a new norm, And so like how do we do? How do we handle that? How do a lot of people handle that? How do you break the old habits that everybody break the old habits that we had to get used to these new ones, like the glasses and stuff, like wearing the mask, wearing the glasses. I don't think this is going to be just like for now type of thing. Like people probably still going to be wearing masks and gloves, even like when they go up to like phase 4 or like phase 3 or whatever the case may be. So,
and I think a lot of this is it goes without saying, a lot of this is long overdue with the Black Lives Matter and the pandemic. It shows that we don't take care of ourselves as well as we should. A lot of this is long overdue and should have been the norm well before this.
Yeah, you're right. It really should have been the norm like well before this. And like it's sad to say that like some of the stuff that's happening right now, we needed it to happen for it to be like for everything to turn around the way it's the way it's doing right now. So even with the pandemic, like we say, it's making everybody look at life differently now. Like with the recent thing that happened with like George Floyd or whatnot, the whole world is protesting. Like the whole entire world. So I'm like, man, this is something else. Like you sit back, you seeing everything happening in 2020, you just like, man, I can't believe that's happening. Man, I can't believe that's happening. Man, I can't believe that's happening. it's just like one of them years where like it's never gonna be forgotten,
Nope. But
so
it's what's maybe this is the year I think maybe we all needed to put everything in perspective, get everything right the way it should be. I don't like I found like watching all the stuff online about George Floyd, like I as a white male, I can't even fathom a thought. And it's opened my eyes to a ton, like just educating on everything. This is the year I think that everybody needed to get everything online and on par with where it needs to be and where it should have been for hundreds of years.
Yeah, man, you're so right. I was having a conversation like this with a couple other friends too, and like we were talking about the same thing. Like, I watched the video, right, and like even like as a black male, like I watched the whole thing, and like before I could even finish, I almost cried. because it was just like sad, you know, like it was sad to see something happen like that, and to know that it can happen to like somebody who looks like you know, like so I was like, this is crazy, man. But like you said though, with all of this going on, like this is the like now is the time for change, you know, like and change should have happened a long time ago, but as long as the change is happening, then that's good, you know. As long as people want to have the conversations, as long as people want to get out and like protest and mean it with like a good heart, then like that's a step in the right direction. You know what I mean? Because like back then, like like years before, like it wasn't big like this, you know what I mean?
No.
Like, people weren't in the streets like maybe like way back in the 60s and the 90s, like when it happened to Rodney King or whatnot. But this right here, you're talking about a lot of countries, like the whole world, you know?
There's a lot of action now. It doesn't seem like it's just words. Those words are going into action, and like you said, the peaceful protests around the world, not even just North America or the US, it's worldwide.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Just bringing everybody together for the equality, I guess. For that's what we want. We want like it's everybody should be treated the same way with doesn't matter skin color.
Exactly. That's how I look at it. Like, I mean, the way I was raised, like the way my mom raised me, she didn't raise us to like be like that or like look at not like somebody because of color. Like, just weren't wired that way. Like, so when I see stuff like that happening, like I see that people be like that, like I just can't understand it. You know, like I can try to understand why they may have this type of hatred in their heart, but like every time I try, I just can't, because like it's just something that's just not clear in my head, because I'm just not like that towards anybody, you know. And it's not right. I don't feel like it's right to be like that or to judge like that. You know what I mean? Like, who are we to judge, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
and I remember when
it was the way I was raised too. Like, just treat everybody the same. Treat them how you want to be treated, and that's as far as it goes. And I would never want to be in those shoes, so I'm not going to put anybody else in those shoes. Like it seems so simple, but so complicated for some at the same time.
Yes, you're right, man.
I don't know how else to put that, but
exactly, it is. That's the perfect way to put it.
And like, I found myself like just watching the videos, and like I said, like you said, I almost cried too. Like, I'm just in shock that there's people that go about their life like this and don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
And like, I started looking back or thinking back to like me growing up. Like, were there times where I let things go that I shouldn't have? And I'm just trying to figure out what I can do to help. Like, whether if I see it now, call it out and hold people accountable. Because I'm looking back, I'm like, shit, like what did I do? How did I affect somebody's life when I was growing up that I had no idea? I was naive to it all because I've never experienced it. And like, that was how I was raised, to just treat each other the same way. And now those hard conversations are coming up, and as they should. And this is how I change. This is how we change. And I don't know. I can't believe that there's people that think this is the right way to do things. Like the injustice. Like, I can't believe that that's a way people think.
Me neither, man. Like I don't. What is the satisfaction in it? I have no idea. You know, like there's a documentary on Netflix called Let It Fall.
Okay.
I started on that recently. So like if you, and it's real good. Like I just started, but it's really good. So like if you want to catch on to that, watch it, and like anybody else want to watch it, it's called Let It Fall on Netflix. And
like I saw some people put online too, like the 13th apparently as well is one to watch too. There's quite a few, and I think they're all near the top too. I think Netflix has bumped them up for people to watch and educate and
that's good.
Learn, essentially, for lack of a better term, is just learn and understand and educate yourself so it doesn't go backwards, and everything from here is forwards.
Absolutely, man. Like I'm glad. I'm just glad that the world is coming together. You know? Because I mean, that's the only way that we can be great.
That's the only way the world can be great is if we come together, right?
Yeah, strengthen numbers, and the world is one big number right now. Like
Exactly.
it's growing by the day.
And I think, man, you know what? I had like a little thought, you know, because I remember when I was in the 4th grade, like one of my teachers, Ms. Ross, she used to always tell my class, like, your generation, like anybody around who was like in middle school around the time, she would always say like, your generation is going to be the one to change the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like as little kids at the time, you don't really like just pay attention to all of that stuff.
No.
Like now I'm sitting here like, and I'm just looking at everything that's happening. Like our generation is changing the world.
She knew something back then that you guys didn't know, and now Mrs. Ross is smartest person in the world at this point.
That was my 4th grade teacher, man. She used to always tell us that. Now I understand, like, dang, you know, like it's crazy how when you hear stuff so long ago and then it like starts to re-animate itself back into your life and everything. And it's just starting to make sense now, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
you just sit back and think about it. And you're like, oh, like everything has come full circle. Like you said, your 4th grade, you don't really pay attention too much. He's like, oh yeah, you guys are going to change the world. Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
What do you mean? Like, what do you mean we're going to change the world? And now you're here, and you're like, this is what she meant. This is how we literally change the world.
Yep,
it's crazy.
By standing up for ourselves, man. That's all that everybody's doing, just standing up to the government. Because if you look, like I was talking to a few people, and you know the perspectives and whatnot, like this is just like to put it all into play. This is like everybody is tired of what the government has been doing over years and years and years, and everybody is just completely fed up. And I think that when everything happened with George Floyd, that was just a tip of the iceberg, and that was just like, yo, the fire is lit now. You know, that's how I look at it. Because right before that, you know, a lot of people not even talking about this now, but even before that, you had like the Ahmaud Arbery case when he was running through a neighborhood and got followed, and and that happened, and the protest started with that. And then when this happened, I think that's when everybody was like, okay, whoa, you know, whoa, this is too much now. So that's good, man. Like I love seeing it because like I'm all about the positive vibes. And I'm all about everybody treating each other with respect and like everything like that. So like I went to a rally like a couple of days ago, and to see everybody at the rally, there was no problems. Everybody was together. Everybody was chanting together. Everybody had signs. You know, it was such a respectful and positive vibe. Like, and that's what the world should be. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be all the negativity and all the violence and everything, like, because that's just not normal. You know, so. When I say like the new norm, I feel like the new norm is going to be like everybody's going to be safer, everybody's going to be more respectful, everybody's going to work harder. You know what I mean? So, and that's just what's going to make the world an even better place to be in. You know?
And those are the protests or the gatherings you don't see on TV. Like media grabs the violence, the looting, the whatever, the police brutality, the bricks that showed later that cops were giving out to people to throw. Like you don't see the good stuff on TV, and that's a shame because there's so many peaceful gatherings, like you said. Like probably for every 100 peaceful gatherings, there's one that goes awry, and that's the one they show.
Exactly.
They don't show the 100 peaceful gatherings where people are still social distancing, still have masks on for the most part, have signs, they're just walking. Everybody's in a peaceful gathering. Those are the ones you don't see. You see the one where there's looting that police themselves may or may not have started. Like, I don't know. But that's all you see. You see one side of it, not both.
Exactly. And you know, that's another thing. Like you only hear like one story. Like when it's the negative, you're only hearing one story in the media. And it's only going to be what they did or what the case may be. It's not. So I just wish the media would stop doing that kind of stuff also, you know, because like that's how you twist and turn people's minds against each other. You know what I mean? Because they're all sitting here looking and thinking like, oh, this is really, this is how it's like.
Mhm.
So everybody's probably like this, huh? So you don't want to put those thoughts in people's minds, because like then they start going out into the world thinking that's the way to be.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It just causes a lot of conflict and everything in the world. So, the media, I think they should chill out with that. Showing
Mhm.
out and
100%.
making.
Thank
And they, yeah.
Thankfully, we have social media to show us the good side and
Mhm.
the other side of stories.
Mhm.
Like, if it wasn't for that, I don't know what we would see or how far along we would be.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But it to me, I can't believe it's only been 4 years of you know who in office. Like, it feels like it's been
Yeah.
like 8, 10, 12 years. Like, I don't know how it's been only 4.
Man, and I hope this year is the last.
Oh. If it's not,
Yeah.
like, I'm not a
I'm
big
definitely.
politics guy. I never have been. But seriously, like, you can't put him in for another 4. Something's gonna happen if it does.
A
Like
purge, the actual purge, like the movie.
like that would be the ultimate ending to 2020 with the way it's gone so far. Heaven forbid. I can't even
Could you
begin.
imagine, right? And
No, I
man,
can't.
and we talking about this right now. Like, if that happens, it's gonna be like,
I don't even know.
yeah, right. Because I remember when he first ran, and like it was like a joke at first, right? People were like, man, no
Hmm.
way, like there's no way he's gonna win. But then all of a sudden he actually wins.
Yeah,
Uh,
and he's their candidate, and he's going against
yeah,
Hillary, and then you wake up and he won.
exactly.
Like, excuse me?
So like either way it go, like we probably would have been in like it would have been like, yeah. At this point, who's gonna do the worst? You know what I
It's
mean?
a lesser of two evils.
So like I was like, this is it's crazy, right? But I mean, like I said, like hopefully this is his last year. Though.
Uh, he's got 3 months left. I
Yeah,
hope. Or 4 months. I guess it's June.
yeah,
Like, I don't know. Just as long as people vote, that's all they can do. If they don't vote,
exactly.
they can't affect change, and then it's going to be another 4 years of the exact same nonsense, taking more steps backwards
Mm-hmm.
than the 8 years we had with Obama that made grounds. They're just
Exactly.
reversing everything. I don't.
Man, it's just he's handling like everything like so immaturely, like
Just
you
off
can't
the cuff. It's just whatever he thinks at the time. He just says it.
exactly like you can't run a country, right?
No,
And you can't try to run a country like you would try to run a business.
no. You can't tweet what you want to tweet.
Exactly.
You can't just
Exactly.
tweet your opinions. It's no. Mm-mm.
And he's telling people like, if you riot, you know what I mean, we gonna shoot whatnot.
Yeah.
Like
If
what
you
what's the
loot,
point of
if you loot, we shoot. Like, that's
exactly.
that's starting a civil war in your own country, and they're already using tear gas, which is banned. It's a war weapon. Like,
Exactly, right?
I don't like. Just
I don't like
dumbfounded whenever he
yes,
says something.
I don't really respect a lot of the stuff that comes out of his mouth a lot of the time, right?
No.
Because it's so disrespectful and it's so rude and it's such a lie,
Hmm.
You just
I
know
just
he's yeah.
I just get a kick out of every time he tweets. It says from Twitter for iPhone. Like, he's just sitting there in a chair, just
When he could be doing
whatever
something to
comes to
benefit,
mind.
yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm gonna tweet this today. If you loot, we shoot. Like, come on, man.
Nobody screened that along the way. It's just right from him to phone to send, and that's
Yep,
that's what scares me the most.
yep, exactly. And that's why you shouldn't have somebody like that in office. That's because I feel like he's only just thinking about himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not really thinking. He's not really thinking
100%.
about the country. So I don't know, man. Interesting.
That's the one word for, I think, 2020 is just,
Oh yeah,
it's
interesting.
interesting.
I seen this meme or whatnot, and it was like, I feel bad for the kids who are gonna have to study the year 2020 in history because that's gonna be a hefty chapter.
It's gonna be its own book.
Man, I'm telling you, yeah,
That'll be its own
it's gonna be
class.
tough.
That'll be its own class in university.
Yeah, I can
2020
imagine.
history.
History, yeah, yeah, it really is. And like I could just imagine like sitting down when I'm like in my 60s or 70s or something, and my grandkids coming home and they trying to talk about it. I'm gonna just like start laughing. Yeah, I lived off.
Like there's gonna be it's a textbook gonna be massive. It's gonna take
Yup.
every month will be a chapter. Like
Yeah.
it's how it's gonna be, and it's sad to say now, but it's on that way. And like
Yeah, it is.
like I saw a meme online too. Like you heard about the murder hornets for like a week, and then they
Oh
just
yeah,
disappeared. Like the murder hornets came in, tested the room, and left, and said, "Nah, I'll come back later." Like when are they gonna come back? Like they came out
For
COVID,
real.
and
Like that is.
then now you have the peaceful protests for Black Lives Matter.
Mhm.
So it's gone Kobe. I forget what happened in February, but then COVID, and then
COVID.
George Floyd, and the murder hornets were in the middle, and they're like, "This isn't our time. Like we'll come back in like July or August."
Yeah, true. It's true.
Like what in the hell?
Could you, man, it's just so much that you can't even, whatever happened at this point, I'm gonna just be like, that's expected. You know what I mean? Like I was chilling with one of my friends the other day, and she was like, if I seen a UFO right now, I'd probably just be like, that's a UFO, guys. You know?
Just casual, yeah.
So, like, whatever happened at this point, it's just expected, man, because 2020 is, it's on its own. It's on some other stuff right now.
That's you can go to Area 51 probably. It's probably wide open. They don't care anymore. Just go see. People won't believe. People be like, okay, yeah, it's cool. It is what it is. It's
True.
It's normal now, and it's not. Not even close.
Yeah. It's an experience to live through. It's something it's kind of neat to live through something like this because like my parents lived through a lot of stuff, and I was always like, man, I wonder what that would have been like.
And here it is.
Yeah, because they lived through the Rodney King stuff, you know, so they seen all of those riots and how that happened. Yeah, like you said, here we are right here.
This is our own version of it.
Yeah, exactly. So
I never thought I would live through the stuff that family lived through in the 90s or the 1900s or whatever year. Here, this is our version of it, and I can't even I don't even know. If you would have told me at when I was in elementary school, high school, learning history of the riots and whatever happened in the 1900s, that we would have our own version in 2020, I probably would have laughed.
Yeah, right.
Kind of like you did with Mrs. Ross, not paying attention to you changing the world. Like you just don't think it's going to happen, and here we are.
Boom.
It hit you like I don't even know what it hit you like a truck. Hit you like a truck.
Yeah. A loaded log truck.
Some Final Destination.
For real. So I mean, like, you know, it's giving me a better perspective on life for sure. Like I've said, you know, it's making me appreciate things a lot more too, like we've been talking about. So I mean, at the end of it all, I mean, I feel like it's probably supposed to be happening the way it's happening, as sad as it is.
Yeah.
And we need to go through this to be able to become better men and women in the world. You know.
It's taught us a lot about who we are as people and what we need to improve on, what we need to fix to get the world to where it should be. And like you said, this is the year I think we needed to have to get everything back in line where it should have been a long time ago.
And I think for like when we're older, and I think this right here for us in our younger ages, while we're older, we're gonna set the foundation from here on out. So like whenever everybody a part of this generation leaves the world, and so like when our kids come up and stuff like that, you know, it should be right in sync. You know, it should be right on point. You know, it should be going good, if not better, as a nation.
2020 should be the TSN turning point for the rest of history.
Honestly, I believe you might be right though, man. Like honestly though, like I can see it. I'm looking at it that way myself. So it's exciting to see like what it's going to be like in some years to come. You know, years after this and stuff like that. So
it's a lot to take in.
Yeah,
it's a lot to process.
It really is, and for it to be happening, for what happened to be happening like this, like with the Black Lives Matter, that's like it's so many, you know, biracial relationships, so much diversity in the world right now. So the only question to ask is why, you know, like why, like you must know. People have to know that like that's not a lot of people who are gonna put up with that in the world no more.
Mm-mm.
From every angle.
Mm-hmm.
So, I appreciate all of that stuff. I appreciate how a lot of people are viewing it and how a lot of people are standing up. How a lot of people are speaking up now. And they're not going to close their mouth no more.
Nope. Gonna have those conversations, call it out when you see it. It's not gonna be accepted anymore. It's gonna be challenged. It's gonna be the diversity is gonna be accepted. If anybody's against that, that's gonna be challenged. It's gonna be called out, and you're gonna be held accountable. And that's the way it should be.
Exactly. That's definitely the way it should be.
Mm-hmm. For you, one before we wrap it up, what's been the best thing for you about Vancouver so far? Other than the barbecue.
The best thing for me about Vancouver so far, I've met some great people already. I've made some great relationships, like with some people that I'll probably be friends with for a very, very long time, and I can already tell that. So I mean, that's very good, and I get to wake up every morning and I get to go run. I'm 9 minutes from the beach, so I get to drive to the beach, and I jog this trail. One of my friends showed me this trail, and it's like right along the water and whatnot. So I get up around like 6, 7, 8 every single morning, and I go jog it, like 2-3K, and I jog it. That's like the best feeling in the world, because like I'm right by the beach. I got my headphones in, I'm grinding, and if I'm tired, I just look at the water, and I'm not even really tired no more, And so for me, like the relationships that I'm making already, and just to be able to get up and just go be by the beach like on a daily and just run, that's exciting for me because like I wasn't really like next to the beach. I really didn't get the chance to do all of those things like as a younger kid growing up or whatnot. So it's kind of good, to be able to grind that way, and to meet the people that I've met, and keep continuing to make those relationships. Like I said, like there's no bad vibes in Vancouver. There's no bad vibes in Vancouver right now already. So.
And we gotta make sure we get that barbecue joint working out too. Like we're gonna start in Fredericton. Now you're moved to Vancouver. Now we gotta get that rolling there too. I gotta make sure I keep my table.
Oh, you most definitely. I already told you, man. Like when that happens, you and your wife. I told you. Just hit me up.
Table for two, anytime at Arthur's Barbecue, whatever it's gonna be called.
Arthur's Seafood Barbecue and Grill. Oh man, could you imagine?
This is fun. I love doing this. This is a lot of fun.
Right? I know. Like the second time we done it, it's nice. The first time was nice, and then we get to see it face to face now. It's even better, right? We talked about so much. You know what I mean? Third time we do it. Either I got to be out there, do it live in Vancouver. Let's make it happen.
At Earl's Barbecue.
Let's make it happen.
Book out a table. Just bring in the computer, microphone, and we'll just do like an Earl's Barbecue review. We'll review we'll go through like most of the menu and just review it.
Man,
what if they could hook us up with that? I'll have to maybe get like a sponsorship with Earl's Barbecue.
We might have to though. I might have to get some more barbecue from him often and get them familiar with my name and then bring it up.
Mm-hmm. And then when we come out there, that relationship's already built, and then okay, we're on to something. We're on to something.
Exactly. Always. Great minds think alike.
Hey, I like it. But hey, I appreciate you doing this. Glad that you made it out of Vancouver safe. Everything is going well for you, and you guys are hungry for the season. Looking forward to whatever that's going to have in store. And anytime you want to do this, the door is always open.
Yes, sir, man. Same, man. I appreciate you wearing the nice orange shirt for me.
Got it.
Represent the school colors.
Next time I'll get a logo. I'll get a logo for you for next time, just to make it a little more official.
Yeah, I might get a bobblehead made next time. When you come. Could you imagine?
Could you imagine like an Arthur Reece bobblehead, basketball in one hand, and like a barbecue rib or something in the other?
Yo,
combine your love.
Yeah, we got to plan this out for the next episode.
Okay, we'll put something together. We'll work on something. We'll get an Arthur Reece bobblehead out there.
Exactly, but I appreciate this, man. I appreciate you having me on again.
Anytime.
About everything and the Black Lives Matter stuff. I really appreciate that a lot too.
Hey, use the platform for as much good as we can.
Exactly, man.
100%.
Exactly. Anytime you want to reach out to me, anytime, man. I'm here for you, you know, and it's always good having these talks.
100%. 100%. We'll have to do it again soon.
Absolutely, man. Take it easy out there, bro.
Sure.